What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today we'll be going back into Reddit and answering a couple questions on feeling adrift in life, feeling down. If you feel like that, please listen to this podcast and take in what I'm about to say. So I'm going to get it quickly into it. The first question is, I'm feeling like I'm at a dead end. I'm 20-something living in the UK, and I'm beginning to feel like my life is at a dead end. I hate myself but can't motivate myself to change. I'm lazy, unhealthy, and generally a bad person. I only work part-time, although I motivated myself to increase my hours. I don't seem to be able to get them. I'm a screw-up at work and generally think that I'm on the edge of losing my job, let alone getting more hours. I need money to move out. I'm sick and tired of living at home, but even if I managed, I don't think I'd be able to live on my own. I would just live in my own mess. What should I do? So the first thing that I encourage you to do is that you have to change your mindset. That you're not a failure. You are not your mistakes. You can get through it, and you will get through it. See, a lot of times we tend to over-dramatize our failures. We tend to think of ourselves in a very black and white scale, and usually the negative always dominates. Either, let's say, I'm not attractive, I'm dumb, I'm fat, I'm ugly. All these things, all these negative things never get you anywhere in life. They're only meant to, as you said, you feel like a failure. So you're just going to constantly keep feeding yourself these negative thoughts. You're never going to get anywhere because you're not feeding your mind the right information. When you get up, when you wake up in the morning, think about it like your mind is in a blank state. It's a blank canvas. You can do anything that day. You can manifest anything that day. You wake up and you instantly look at yourself. You either call yourself fat, lazy, slow, all these different types of things. So then your body and mind fall suit in that. You got to be able to change your mindset and think that I'm not a failure. I can do this. I can do this today. See, if everybody held themselves up to this high standard, nobody would be successful. Nobody would be able to live with themselves if they held themselves to a high standard. We want to set these high standards of beauty, being smart, and all these things, but that's not being human. You can't be perfect in any of those categories. If you see that somebody's perfect in that category, you're wrong. These people are not perfect. These people go through things like you. You are no different than anybody else. Everybody goes through this, so it's okay that you feel like you're not doing enough. It's okay to feel like that. Because everybody is. I feel like that, you feel like that, and anybody here watching that feels like that at times. But in order to change your mindset, you have to, in order to benefit yourself, you have to change your mindset. You can't go around thinking that you're a failure. It's just not productive. It's not good because you're better than that. So you will manifest whatever you think you are. If you think you're a failure, you're going to be a failure. If you want to move out and you think that it's going to be a mess, it will happen. Because that's what you're feeding your brain, that's what you're feeding your mind. You go into work, if you asked your coworker, hey, do you think that I'm lazy, unhealthy, and generally a bad person, they would say no. It's because you're in your own mind too much. You got to get out of your own mind. Most people, if you walk past them on the street, they don't know your flaws. You make them know your flaws. Why don't you make them know the good stuff about you? I know there's some good in you. Obviously, you're not just a bad person. You're special. You got a gift. And you got to live with it. You got to regain your confidence in life. So another thing is that if you need motivation, I think that there's just a lack of goals. I think that you are too comfortable in your situation. And that's not to say that being uncomfortable breeds success, because that's not true. But you need goals. You need something to do in life. Because if you're not, you're just going to keep falling into this hole of, I don't feel good. I feel like a failure. It's because you're not striving for anything. Whether it be a promotion at your job, going to the gym, running, training for a marathon, something. But you have to live life with goals. When you live life with no goals, you're just going to keep floating. And that's the thing, you're just going to keep floating and floating, and you have nothing to go on. You're just living life just in a washing machine. You have nothing to go on your life. So you got to set goals for yourself. You got to wake up, attack those goals, and tell yourself you can do it, because you can. You can do anything you want. Anything you want, you can do. You got to be able to change your mind, though. That's the big thing. Nobody else is going to stop you. You're getting in your own way. Your mindset is getting in the way of your goals, your dreams, whatever you want in life. It's you. You are the only person in your way in this specific circumstance. So I would really tell you, change your mindset, have some goals, and you can do it. You can. So the next question that I got is, how do I stop being a burnout? Hello all, I'm trying to keep this short. I have such a lack of energy at the time, and sure, I can find a drive to do some things that don't really matter, like playing video games. But whenever it comes to taking care of myself or doing anything to improve my quality of life, I just feel drained. All I want to do is either sleep, smoke, or shove as many screens in my face to forget about reality. But I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back to being that person who is driven and motivated and energized to be happy. Maybe not perfect, but better. So what should I do? Do I have a couple notes on this if I can find them? So, most of the times, and this is something that I think that a lot of people are going through, is that they're not feeling anything. They're not getting anything in life. They might have had goals, but especially during these past 2 years, they just feel like they haven't achieved anything. And I think it's because you're stuck. How would I say this? You're stuck in the matrix. You're constantly looking at screens. You're looking at screens. They're taking your attention 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes over here. And they're constantly feeding you negative propaganda, in a sense. Negative thoughts, negative energy. And when you really think about it, if you look at your screen time on your phone right now and tell me, have you looked at anything positive? And if it's all negative, no wonder you feel like this. No wonder you feel like you haven't strived for anything in life, because you're constantly being distracted by negative things. Things that don't motivate you, things that don't inspire you, things that don't help you build a positive mindset. Just constantly things that are negative and are meant to pull you down. You're almost as if you're stuck in a loop. You're stuck in a loop because you're constantly watching TV. You're constantly on your phone. You're just watching the day blow by. I tell you this, if you turned your phone off for 5 minutes and just stared outside, just go outside for 5 minutes, it would feel like an eternity rather than you scrolling on Instagram for 5 minutes. Want to know why? Because your brain is constantly being stimulated. Take that stimulation away and you realize that life is slow. You find inspiration in life. You find inspiration outside. You don't find it on your phone. You find your inspiration going within you. It's not somewhere else. Motivation is not external, it's internal. What's your why? Why can't I do this? Why can't I achieve my goals? You're not going to get that through your phone. You're not going to get that through TikTok. You're going to have to go outside. You're going to have to go outside in nature and go inward. You're going to have to go inward to spend 5 minutes outside and understand why you feel like the way you feel. And also, you said that you're taking in all these screens to forget about reality. And that's a big thing, is that most of us are running away from reality. And I think it's interesting because we're running away from something that we built. Our reality is only something that we built. Your circumstances may play a part in it, but in reality, the person who you are today is only because of you. Reality is still nature. It's never going to change. The sun is never going to change. The wind is never going to change. So reality doesn't discriminate. Reality, the world does not discriminate. You build your own reality. And I can tell you this, a lot of people say that they don't want to deal with their reality. They don't like the world. They hate their life. But I can tell you, if you were a millionaire, if you had your dream job, if you had your dream car, you would feel completely different. So because reality is something that you like. So I would encourage you have to be able to build up your own reality. Think about your life as your own video game character. You're starting from zero. Clearly you're starting from zero again. You've got to be able to slowly build yourself back up. You can't just run into the final level without doing the groundwork first. You can't go to level 100 if you haven't beaten level 2. Because you go into level 100, you're not gonna make it. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to reshape your mind that your reality is something that you build and you can't run from it. You keep running from your reality, it's gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse until it gets to the point where you can't live with yourself. And this thing, your reality, is now, you can't run from it anymore. It's slowly getting shorter and shorter and shorter away from you. It's like a dog chasing you. Once you can't run from your reality anymore and you have to sit there and face it, it might be too much for you to handle because you created this monster that's 100 feet tall, 1,000 feet tall. You can conquer it when it's eye level with you. Everybody's fighting with themselves at eye level. But if you keep running from it, you keep dodging it, it's going to keep growing. It's going to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. By the time you have to face that, you're too weak. You can't do it. So you got to go back. You got to start from zero and find that motivation. But it's not going to be through a screen. You got to rebuild your life. It's not going to be through a screen. You're going to have to do that by yourself. And this ideal, this thinking is that, and I want to ask you a question, is that how can you make your reality better? How can you personally? And I can't answer that question. There are things that you might need to get out a notepad. You might want to go to school. You might want to run a 10K. You might want to do these different types of things. You might want to volunteer. You might want to be an actor. But if you want to find motivation, if you want to stop burning yourself out, you got to be able to find your why and attack it day by day. Most of us, we have these grand plans of, I want to become a top podcaster. I want to become an actor. And you're thinking about it. You're thinking about it at level 100 again. But what if I told you that you had to make a podcast a day for 10 years in order to do it? Most people wouldn't do it. 95% of people won't do it because it takes so much work. It takes so much little work day by day. LeBron James didn't just get good at playing basketball yesterday. These people who are extremely talented in their craft worked at it for years. So you have to work at your craft. You have to be willing to sacrifice years of your life in order to chase your dream. Attack it day by day. And I'm telling you, you can do it. Just set little goals. Don't think about it at the big goals. Don't get caught up thinking about big goals because you're now not going to be able to chase it. Because again, just like your past that you're running from, same thing with this dream. Your dream's going to crush you if it's too big. Your goals are going to crush you if it's too big. If you're lacking motivation, like you say you are, you're not going to be able to. If you build up yourself, I want big dreams, I want the mansion right now, it's never going to be attainable. You're not going to be able to achieve it. So set little goals for yourself. Rework your mindset. Conquer the monster that you created. Accept it. You might need to love it. You might need to love it. You might need to hate it. You might need to scream at it. But you got to be able to face it in order to move forward. That's the only way to cope. And so our last question is, I feel sad even when I'm living what many would consider the best life. I don't know why I am sad at all. My life is great. I constantly do things, like my grades are good. I'm doing well in everything, but I still feel sad and I don't know why. I just want to be happy and not always feel like something is wrong. I feel bad because how I feel greedy for it too. I should be happy. I'm very fortunate in my life. Not a flex or anything, I'm just being honest. I just want to know what could be causing my problems and why I'm sad. So the first thing, as I always say, is that you're going to need to change your mindset on something. Most people think that it's how would I say this correctly? I'm assuming you say that because you are in a state of comfort. You're in a state of Zen. You're in a state of heaven, and you're in a state of Shangri-La. Whatever someone wants to say is that you're very comfortable right now. And you might have the notion that you need to struggle in order to be successful. Because a lot of times you see the movies, I got to start from the bottom, and I'm successful. You have to be at the bottom. You have to struggle. You have to grind for years. You have to have nothing, and that's how you truly become successful. And I'm here to tell you that it's not. Most people you see today didn't come from nothing. Some of them do, and some of them don't. So you are blessed in a sense where you have comfort. So what I want everybody to do is that you need to take your blessings and you need to be able to give something back. Because if you're in a blessed state, if you're in a state of comfort, there are thousands, millions of people who are in a state of discomfort that need you. That's not to belittle what you're going through. That's not for me to tell you that what you're going through isn't bad, because I know if you're fighting a mental warfare, there's nothing that anybody can tell you for you to believe that it's not your reality. So I know you're going through something. But I think the best thing that somebody can do if you're going through something is to help people. It's to help the world, heal the world, volunteer. Because if you're in a state of comfort, again, there are so many people who don't have food, don't have a house. They need, if you even say you have good grades, you could become somebody's tutor, somebody that you look up to. What you're looking for is that your life has no meaning, I'm assuming. You're comfortable and you feel like you have nothing to strive for. So maybe you just need to help somebody. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to tutor somebody. Maybe you need to go out there and volunteer, because that's how you begin to find yourself. You find yourself when you go out there and help other people. The best thing you can do is help other people. And that's the main goal of this podcast. If you're in a blessed state of life, you got to be able to help other people. That builds you up. That's the thing that will truly build you up. And in life, sometimes it feels like, especially if you're in a state of comfort, you could feel like you're being swaddled to death. You're too comfortable. But just take that and realize it's a blessing. And turn that into something good. Turn that into something positive. Because there are so many people that need you. I'm going to keep saying this. People need you. You are special. You are smart. You could go to school. You could volunteer. You could do so many things with your life. But don't turn it to negativity. Don't let that comfort, don't let it harness negativity in your mind. Because you can do so much good for so many people. So you got to be able to think about your vision in a bigger picture. And most of the times when we give back to the world, we realize that the world is just bigger than us. It's bigger than your problems. It's bigger than our suffering. And I'm not trying to step on what you're going through, but when you give back, when you volunteer, when you give food to the homeless, when you comfort the homeless, you realize that you have a gift. Your gift is you. It's just you showing up. You don't need to go out there and search for talents. You yourself giving to somebody is good enough. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need fame. You don't need anything. All you got to do is take yourself out of the situation and go somewhere. And you can really benefit somebody's life. You can make somebody's day, year, month, just spending time with these people, spending time with friends, reaching out. You could be somebody's life coach. If you say you have good grades, you could be somebody's life coach. But you got to be able to get out there and put yourself out there. Maybe you do need to get some sort of discomfort. So maybe you do need to go to the gym. Maybe you do need to go out and do public speaking. Maybe there's something that you want to do that you're afraid to do. Because a lot of times when you're in your comfort zone, you're doing things that are comfortable for you. So if you truly feel like you need to level up in life, go ahead and do something that you feel uncomfortable. It could be karaoke, it could be public speaking, but you gotta be able to get yourself out of that comfort zone. That's how you grow. got to be able to get yourself out of that comfort zone into a land of discomfort. And then you can rise up. Then you can start manifesting things. Then you can start doing that. But if you feel comfortable in life, take that blessing, give it to somebody else, and also do something that you feel uncomfortable with. Then you start to enjoy life. Comfort is a blessing, but also discomfort is a blessing. It's a yin and a yang. So that's what I encourage you to do. But those are the questions that I got this week. I hope listening to this, it benefited you in some way. I hope that me doing this podcast can help you, because that's what it is. It's all about you. It's not about me. I'm trying to use my voice to help you. There are too many people in this world who don't feel like they can do anything. There are so many people that feel like failures, and I'm here to tell you that you're not. I'll tell you this every single time, that you're not. So that's what I encourage you to do. But that's it for this episode. I hope everybody's safe. You can do it. That's it for today.